So, I decided that I would make the notes for you and that you could just fill them in and follow along as we're going. Text structure is basically the way an author sets up a piece of text. And we see this a lot of times in nonfiction. So we have some choices at the top. We have compare and contrast. We have cause and effect, sequence, problem solution, and description. And so we're just going to kind of go through this. We will either put the word in the blank or you'll fill in the definition. Then we'll make a little symbol to help you remember what that text structure is. I'm going to give you some signal words or words that will clue you in that, yes, this is compare and contrast, or yes, this is cause and effect. And then I'm going to give you some signal questions. So we're going to get started. And our first one is blank. This is the event that happens first and makes some other event happen. So we call that cause. Okay, so our cause is the first event. So like, for example, a deer running out in the road would be the cause. The effect would be you hitting it or slamming on your brakes so you didn't hit it, or your car getting dented because you hit it. Those would all be the effects. So the effect is this is the event that happens second as a result of the first event. And our symbol is going to be, we're going to make a box and we'll say cause, and we're going to draw a line and we'll just make, and this is our effect. Or we could have the effect, sorry for my lack of neatness kind of. So we'd have effects, and then we would have our cause. And like I said, a good example would be a deer running out in front of you and you slamming on your brakes. The effect would be that you didn't hit it, or even though you slammed on your brakes, that you possibly hit it and dented your car. Okay, so some signal words are because, so, since, in order to, outcome, result. So those are all words that you could use that clue you in that this is a cause and effect text structure. And some signal questions could be, what happened? Or why did it happen? So if you need to pause, go ahead, rewind, go back so that you get all of your answers. All right, we're going to go on to number 3 now, if everybody's ready. And it says this shows how two or more are similar and unalike. So we're going to call that compare and contrast. This is probably the one we're the most familiar with. And you remember your Venn diagram where you have your what's similar in the middle, and your difference here, and your difference here. Okay? Your signal words could be alike, similar, same, unalike, contrast, or the word instead. So these are all words that signal you that this is a compare and contrast text structure. Okay? And some signal questions that you could have are, how are they the same? How are they different? Okay, so before I go on to the second page, I'm just gonna kind of go over and restate everything one more time. So we talked about text structure, and this is the setup of a piece of text, and the author uses this to convey their message. So the first two that we talked about were cause and effect, and cause, this is the event that happens first, and it makes some other event happen. And because of that first event, we have an effect, okay? And the effect is, this is the event that happens second as a result of the first event. And we have, our symbol was cause to effect and effect to cause. And I mentioned the example about the deer, okay? So, and then signal words, or words that you see in a passage to give you a clue that, hey, yes, this is a cause and effect text structure possibly. You have words like because, so, since, in order to, outcome, or result. And our signal questions are what happened or why did it happen, okay? Then we went on and we talked about compare and contrast, and we said this shows how two or more are similar and unalike, okay? And you could add in the word two or more things are similar and unalike. Okay, so I gave you the picture of the Venn diagram, and I said, I labeled it difference and difference, and I had the similar in the middle. Some signal words would be alike, similar, same, unalike, contrast, and instead. And our signal questions, we had two, how are they the same? How are they different? And I apologize, I made a mistake. How are they the same? How are they different? Okay, I did have it written correctly, so I apologize for that. So it should be, how are they the same? How are they different? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we're gonna move on to the back side. We're gonna talk about sequence. Sequence is, this is where we show the order in which events or procedures occur. Move that over for you. There you go. So, sequence shows the order in which events or procedures occur. And our symbol would be, we'll put topic at the top, in a little bubble, and then we'll have kind of like our timeline. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out of this little timeline, we have our main idea. And some single words would be like our transition words, so like first, second, next, last, before, after. Now, I should have said this. You don't have to copy all of the transition words down. If you want to, you may, but pick out at least 3 that you can remember, that will help you remember. And then a signal question would be, what will happen next? Okay, so sequence shows the order in which events or procedures occur. Our symbol is a topic, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like a timeline, and our main idea. And then we have signal words like first, second, next, last, before, or after. And our signal question is, what will happen next? Okay, now we're going on. We have just 2 more left. Our next one is problem and solution. Okay, and that means the author states the problem, then he gives 1 or 2 possible solutions. Okay, and so my little like symbol was the word problem in a little box, and we have the lines represent little examples, and then we have our solution in the center, and then we might even have, like from the solution, we might have another problem, Okay, so we have problems and we have our solution in the middle. Okay, some signal words would be problem, issue, solution, and as a result of. Okay, and our signal question is, what is the problem? What is the solution? Okay, so I'll recap at the end. So remember, if at any time you need to stop and rewind, go ahead and do so. All right, so number 6, our last one. It says the author tells us about a person, place, thing, or idea. He or she lists features, characteristics, or examples. We're going to call this description. Okay? And our description, I just made a concept map and I said main concept. I never make my box big enough. And then we'd have a category or a detail and a category and a category and a category. So these are all details or features or characteristics or examples of that main concept. And some signal words we would have would be like such as, in addition, also, maybe specifically, and our words would be, our questions, I'm sorry, would be, what is it? What is it like? Or we could have, what are some examples? Okay, so let me go over the back page just to make sure everybody understands. So number 4 was sequence, and this shows the order in which events or procedures occur. And our symbol was a topic, and then underneath it, kind of like a timeline of events that go in a specific order from first to last or last to first. I'm going to put first here. I'm going to put last. Okay, and we, from this topic and these events, we come up with a main idea or a central idea. Some signal words we could have would be first, second, next, last, before, after. And our signal questions would be, what will happen next? Okay. Number 5 was problem solution. It says the author states the problem, then he gives 1 or 2 possible solutions. Problem could be a conflict. Problem could be an issue, would be a synonym for those, okay? And I just kind of made like a little box, and it looks like maybe a piece of paper with some problems. Your solution's in the middle, and then I have another problem. My signal words are problem, issue, solution, as a result of. And my 2 signal questions were, what is the problem? What is the solution? Okay. My last one was number 6, was description. And this is where the author tells about a person, place, thing, or idea. He or she lists features, characteristics, or examples. And my symbol that I had was main concept, and I had category, 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 which would basically be features, characteristics, or examples. Okay. Some signal words I had were such as, in addition, also, and specifically. And my signal questions were, what is it? What is it like? What are some examples? Okay, so just kind of to recap everything, you should have both sides filled out, and we were talking about text structure, guided notes, and we said that text structure is how the author sets up the text to be able to convey the information to the reader. And on the front side, we had cause and effect,